So, have you ever looked at the solution architect role and thought, man, that seems so far away, almost impossible? Well, today we're going to tear that idea down. We're going to demystify the entire path and give you a real, actionable roadmap that can turn that dream into your day job.
First things first, let's strip away all the jargon and the complicated diagrams for a second. At its absolute core, what is a solution architect? It's a professional problem solver. And think about it, that's a skill every single one of us uses every single day.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Ben Yu, who's been deep in this industry for years, puts it just like this. This whole idea is built on the belief that if you can solve problems, you can become an architect. It's really just about learning to channel that skill in a brand new way. Okay, so how do we actually do it? How do we get there? Well, the journey really breaks down into 3 clear, manageable steps. This isn't about hoping you get lucky. It's a solid plan you can literally start working on today.
Step 1. And this might be the most critical piece of the whole puzzle. It isn't about learning a new technology or getting another certification. It's about finding a person, a guide, who can help you see the road ahead.
But why, right? Why is a mentor so important? Can't you just, read enough books or watch enough videos to get there? Well, the biggest hurdle for aspiring architects isn't what you probably think it is.
See, the biggest barrier isn't your capability. It's visibility. As a developer, you're usually head down in the code. You rarely see what an architect is actually doing all day. A mentor, they bridge that gap. They help you do what's called a gap analysis, figuring out where you are versus where you need to be. And then, and this is the key, they help you build a personalized plan to get from A to B.
All right, so you've got your guide, you've got your plan. Now it's time to start building that technical foundation. This step is all about making a mental shift, moving away from super deep, specialized knowledge to a much broader, high-level perspective.
And the good news is you don't have to make this up as you go. There's an incredible tool for this, a kind of curriculum called the Well-Architected Framework.
Just think of these frameworks as your official playbook for architectural thinking. All the big cloud providers, AWS, Azure, Salesforce, you name it, they all have one. They give you a structured way to think about the big stuff, like reliability, security, and performance. It literally forces you to zoom out and adopt that high-level view that is the absolute hallmark of a great architect.
Now, getting certified and really mastering these frameworks, that is an awesome and totally necessary foundation. But it's just that, it's the beginning. The source material for this is super clear that the hardest and honestly, the most important part of this journey is still to come.
And that brings us to step 3, mastering technical leadership. This right here is the skill that truly separates a senior developer from a solution architect. When most of us hear technical leadership, our brains immediately go, okay, what's the next programming language I need to learn? But this quote just cuts right through all that noise. It's not about the tech, it's about people. It's about communication, influence, and persuasion.
And to really get why this is so important, you have to understand that an architect lives and breathes in 2 totally different worlds at the same time.
And this illustrates it perfectly. On one hand, you have the technical landscape. That's your comfort zone, right? It's objective, it's driven by facts, it's governed by clear principles. But then there's the social landscape. That world is subjective. It's driven by the opinions and priorities of all these different people. Business folks, security teams, project managers. An architect's real job is to be the bridge between these 2 worlds. And living in both of those worlds creates this really unique and profound learning challenge, especially for those of us who have spent our entire career as just trying to master the technical side of things.
Now check this out, because this sandbox analogy is just brilliant. When you're learning to code, you can spin up a sandbox environment, right? You can experiment, you can fail, you can break everything, and you learn safely. But for social skills, there's no sandbox. There's no simulation. You can't practice having a difficult conversation with a stakeholder by talking to the wall. You have to learn with real people, in real time, where the stakes are real.
So, because there is no simulation, the only way forward is through relentless, consistent, and totally deliberate practice out there in the real world. And this story from Ben Yu is just so powerful because it makes the struggle real. To get better at presenting, he recorded the exact same episode over 100 times. Not editing it, re-recording the whole thing from scratch, over and over, until he found one single version that was just okay. That's the level of dedication we're talking about.
So how do you actually do this? You have to find your arenas. Start a podcast or a blog to get your thoughts straight. Volunteer to present at a local user group. Join an organization like Toastmasters, which is literally designed for this exact thing. You have to actively hunt for opportunities to talk with non-technical people, to learn their language and understand what they care about.
When you put all three of these steps together, it leads to one final, really crucial insight that kind of reframes this entire journey. It's a fundamental shift in how you should even think about this career move.
And this is it. This is maybe the most important takeaway of all. Becoming a solution architect, it isn't like going from a developer to a senior developer. It's not about climbing the next rung on the same ladder. It's about moving to a completely different ladder, one that demands a new mindset and a whole new set of skills that are focused on people, not just on code.
So we'll leave you with this question to think about. If you are on this journey, or even just thinking about starting it, take a second and really reflect. How are you consciously making a plan to develop not just your technical chops, but also those human skills, the leadership, the communication, the influence that truly define what it means to be a solution architect?